Hello, this is my review for the LEGO Architecture 2020 Whitehouse set. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on this set after building it. So the first off, you can see it is quite a nice model. So it looks the part, partly from the previous LEGO Whitehouse that they had. It's better scaling and it looks kind of overall better. Plus you get the east wing and the west wing. So like visually, I think it is a very nice set and it has lots of details in it. Even simple things like the plants and the flowers look really good. The windows, the little chimneys or even kind of open top chimneys at the top rather than just full studs, things like that. Lots of nice tile pieces. So it is quite a nice looking model. However, the reason I'm making the video mainly is because there are a few shortcomings in the set that really kind of have bothered me for a kind of a LEGO product. Now, I will say this is my first LEGO architecture set, so maybe this is just something specific to LEGO architecture that I don't know about. So as you'll notice there, I just actually removed the west wing, and this is kind of one of my first gripes about the set. You can either see this as an advantage or disadvantage, but I think it's a disadvantage because you generally display the set in its totality, but it's only hooked on here by two stud pieces. Okay, so the two stud pieces hook it on here, and that's it. So it has happened a good few times to me already when I'm moving the set around that it's actually broken apart on me. Okay, now another sort of a point here is the structural part of the Lego. If you look in here to the columns, okay, you can get a bit more light there on the columns, you can see that they're actually completely not connected to the top at all. So I can wobble around, this thing here, and the columns have no places for the studs to go into whatsoever. I think that's a very sort of a poor structural point of view on the Lego. Now, if I just take off the east wing over here, so we can concentrate a little bit more on the building itself. If I come in around here, you can actually see whether you can think of this as a building fault or maybe on my own part or not. These pieces right here are one stud little blocks for the decorations on the outside. They are incredibly hard to line up, and there's an awful lot of that sort of building in this model where it's one stud on top of one stud, and it's so hard to get things lined up perfectly. And by the time, like, it's not the smallest set in the world, by the time you've gone through it, you really just want to get it over and done with. So I found these pieces really difficult to line up. As you can see, there's a lot of this sort of stuff here as well. Happens here again. Once again, whether it's my fault or just that's what it is, happens here again, and so on, and you can see it here again. And especially inside here, remember you're doing all these windows, that's 3 studs up there, each one of these windows is 2 kind of stud depth pieces, so on and so forth. There's a lot of this in it. Another sort of a down point here is, I've taken this piece all off already, but this sort of little Greek architecture style cap here, this is literally connected on by one piece here. Okay, so that one stud piece there connects that on to there. In the instructions, the way it was for me, it literally would not stick no matter what I did when I wanted to put the two of them on. So I actually had to build in a spacer piece there. Okay, so if you want to see the way I've done my one, like this. Okay, so that's the way I've built my one. Another sort of a downside of the set is the basic Lego kind of structural components of it. So I've had plenty of other Lego sets. This is my first architecture one. And what I notice is the structural integrity of the building is actually quite poor. So for example, this wall here is not connected to this wall here in any meaningful way. It's literally connected by one stud piece that anchors this wall into this side, and then the roof goes on top of that. Okay, so the roof and one stud piece, and that's all you have. So what has happened to me already is that this building has actually fallen. Not a great distance, completely smashed open, and I had to go and put it back together again. Okay? The small distance it's fell, any normal Lego set really should not have broken apart that much compared to what this one did. So I was a bit disappointed by that. But like I said, it's a nice looking Lego set. But little things like this, and like the structural integrity as you're building, like there's just so much wobble in so many little bits every so often in the building that I really wasn't happy with it. But like I said, it's my first Lego architecture set, so maybe this is what happens in these sets. I'm not sure. I know they are built mainly for the aesthetic and for less of touching and playing around with them. Okay, so I just wanted to give my feedback on the Lego set. Overall, I think it's a very pretty set. I did not enjoy the building process. Far too fiddly, too many one stud on top of one stud that just gets annoying after a while. The structural integrity was very poor overall. I'm sorry to say I really would not recommend the set, and I really am not interested in seeing more of Lego architecture at this stage. I think they look lovely, but really the building process was not fun. Okay, thank you.